G'day everyone. Just want to talk about these far right posts I've been fucking putting up. How do I go from Gary the Goat to that? Who gives a fuck, man? This is it's probably the last dying thing of social media now. So you may as well just fucking say it how it is now, because if you're a fan of free speech, it's fucking going out the window. And crazy times, 2018, the far right are become not only the champions of freedom of speech, they're incredibly articulate and peaceful. They've kind of got to be, because there's so many just fucking going, see, I told you, and it's like, yeah. So I'm an Aussie white guy with a Japanese partner, two half Japanese kids. So I'm hardly a white supremacist. If I am, I'm pretty fucking dumb. My thing is, looking into these far right parties, is that they're basically just standing up for the freedom of speech to discuss things on race and religion in a political context, not really in a religious or racial thing. It's just a political thing. And my passion in it is just freedom of speech. I mean, obviously I've stirred it up with, I haven't stirred it up, but that comedian, getting his dog to just do a Nazi salute so he could just, piss off his girlfriend in an affectionate way. He's going to he's going to find out his jail sentence next month. And I put up the post with Tommy Robinson defending him, and it's like, I think in football it's called don't play the man, play the ball. So they're attacking the man and just disregarding his argument. It's like saying, oh well, I don't like what a few of these things this guy says, therefore I'm not going to listen to anything. I mean, imagine if you took that attitude into everyone you know. Just they said one thing you didn't like, and you go, I'm not going to fucking listen to you on anything. And and if someone did agree with you on everything, it fucking be pretty boring, or they probably fucking want something off you. So I appreciate freedom of speech. That's what I fear is being lost in the Western world. I don't see it too far around. I don't see it around the rest of the world like it is in the West. It makes it exciting and intellectually fucking, it's unreal. You can say whatever the fuck you want and talk it out. That's what I want, and that's what I see the far right as basically just being the champions of it now. I think to the far right, it's rather than trying to, you guys aren't really saying a particular solution. You just want to talk about it, which I respect. You want dialogue where it's, without being shut down as a racist. Like, no one can really say why someone's a racist. I like Chinese. Does that make me a racist? When I meet someone, I look at them and I go, fucking, what DNA are you from around the world? I've been around the world. I clock that into my thing of who they are, and then, you listen to their accent, and, you can be an Australian and, look at a Chinese guy and he can hardly speak English. I go, you just come here and you got a camera around you, yeah? You go, okay, that's who you are. Or, another Chinese guy goes, here you go, and you can't. You go, well, fucking, you're probably fucking born here. You're an Aussie. So it's racist, I suppose, that you do this. So if you everything's racist. Everyone's racist in the term, but racist is like, oh, well, I really like South American people. It's racist isn't associated with a positive term. It's associated with a negative term. Now, when you sort of stereotype a race, that's what we all do. We stereotype just to get through life, But it's the end point of racism. When they go, you're a racist, what they're basically saying is you want your race to take over and fucking annihilate every race. That's the great fear, which is a fair enough fear. But I think the effort to suppress that is just an excuse for hate speech and offensive behaviour crimes, which are just being used to stifle freedom of speech. Now, I think the far right's just basically got to go. I think, to me, I've obviously got half Japanese kids. To me, it's like, what the fuck is going on? I mean, I look out at Japan here. I'm down in Kikuchi, down the bottom. I'm the only fucking white guy in this town. I mean, there's probably a few other ones, but I don't see them walking around. Japan is an amazing country. It's or unique country, in that, as a white guy here, you don't walk down the street and people looking at you like you're a walking ATM, like you might do in India. Walking along the Ganges and fucking, oh yeah, I'll be friends with you, fucking, all innocent stuff. But it's because they're an economic equal to Australia, probably fucking bigger, really. You have more purchasing power on their dollar and everything. And homologically, they're just so homologically. I don't know what the fuck that means, but there's such an homogeny of Japanese people here. I'll just rephrase that. There's a fucking lot of Japanese people here. There's hardly their immigration policy is like fucking hardly let anyone in. And I was asking Yumi, I just said, is there, if we did this in Australia, you'd just be seen as racist. It's just like, fucking cunts. But, I said, why don't you let people in? And she just says, well, the attitude is, if a whole lot of people want to come in, the big question is why? And I think that's a fair enough answer. So to me, with all the West being mixed up, like we're all going to get mixed up, this planet, with transport, planes, fucking fuel, petrol, people before used to just, couldn't get out of their own town to get a fuck, you used to root your first cousins regularly, just ask the English royal family. So, it's inevitable we're all going to get mixed up over time. To me, it's just how are we going to do it? Are we going to do it under a centralised body instigating it? Or are we going to do it in a decentralised way where we get control of the money makers and we just create a finite amount of money which can be infinitesimally decimalised and follow the money trail. So that for me is what my interest in this far right thing. It's like you got to include the far right in the discussion so you can get to the point of going, what's the fuck's going on? It's a perfectly curious question to ask now, rather than just sit back and go, oh, it's all right, fucking, like don't just fucking let everything happen. Like let if we can't be involved in this or know what's going on or think about it or talk about it, fuck man. There's enough depression in the world as it is without you just going, fuck, mate, can you just keep your life to really low IQ fucking concepts? Just go down the street and fucking do all these jobs that are fucking, you get paid an hourly rate and everything if you're doing something, pretty menial now. Even fucking this comedian, I'll get on this comedian. He's done this joke. It's close to my heart because I was in 2 years ago. You might have seen on the video. I went to court over. Cops just fucking went to town on me, and they threw a whole lot of charges at me. They basically threw an offensive behaviour charge at me, and I went into court because I pissed into a cup. I was telling people about urine therapy, which is not illegal. And I've been doing videos on it. A lot of people going, "That's not your real piss." So I just said, how can you show that's your real piss? You're a comedian, how would you? So I did it in front of a doctor who was consenting in the pub. Anyway, end up, go to court, but for offensive behaviour. But when I looked into offensive behaviour, it's basically, it's defined as what a reasonable person would think. So no one saw me pissing the cup from the public. No one was offended. So there was no victim. The cop who fined me, it wasn't even there. He just heard about it. So there was no cop. There was no one there. So it was just me and the judge. Just going, oh, what's offensive? And he's basically going, what a reasonable person would think. You pissed in a cup and you drank it. And I just said, well, what about Bear Grylls? Fucking, he does it on primetime TV, syndicated all around the world, on some pretty strict commercial guidelines. If that was accepted, surely mine would be, as far as a reasonable person. And then he's going, no, that's different because... He said this, it's in transcripts. He said, no, that's different because when you're watching TV, you got the choice to look away if you see something that's offensive. And I said, you can't undo it, you've seen it. And I said, no one saw me, so they had no choice to look away. And they said, all right, so Bear Grylls is fucking a buffalo. What, do I just turn to my children and go, oh, maybe not look at that? So it's getting into this. And then I just said, okay, let's cut to the chase here. What is, if I was just drinking my own piss out in the middle of nowhere in the bush, no one saw me, would that be... is that offensive behaviour? And he goes, yes. And I'm there just going, mate, what the fuck's going on? I'm talking to a retarded guy, like the judge. And I was going, are you stitching me up or are you that fucking dumb? And I mean dumb in terms of a context thing. It's like, which is happening in this joke with this guy, the Nazi salute. It's like, he's obviously not a Nazi, and the context of it was with a joke. Went to 3 million people. You don't get a YouTube clip that goes to 3 million people as a comedian if it's not funny. by some people. And like, as a comedian, how can you do a whole lot of jokes throughout your career without offending one person? So we need to be defended by fuckknuckles out there. Some people want to kill you because of a joke. It's like, man, that joke was nothing to do with you. It's your shit, not mine. And then you've got the state coming down and doing stuff like this. So this is freedom of speech. If you ruin freedom of speech in the West, I don't think it's going to pop up anywhere in the world, ever. Especially with this global totalitarian tyranny coming in. So I think the left wing as well basically got to say, it's a classic thing. I disagree. I think it was Mark Twain or someone smart said, disagree with your opinion, but I'll defend to the death your right to say it. And that's what people on the left have really got to get into. And also a lot of migrants, believe that as well. It's like, come to the West for this culture. We don't want it to be, we want freedom of speech, man. That's the cornerstone. So here I am in Japan. This is really seen by a lot of far right people as an example of, a rich country that's fucking done it right. They're just, and you walk around here, everyone is culturally on the same page. Like, everyone knows the customs, everything. There's not like fucking 10 Aussie pissheads going down the road pissing in the fountain and fucking spewing and fucking, yahooing and going, this is my culture. Or moving in, and so, not in this town. But the flip side is, I talked to Yumi, she said the flip side of it is in Japan, it's really hard to be a black sheep here. So our kids are 3 and 5, and Yumi's been saying at this age it's cool, they're just having fun in this school. But as it gets older, it gets really strict. The suicide rate for students in Japan is fucking about the highest in the world. It's just really strict. So she's saying that if you step out of you can do it. A lot of crazy Japanese people just fucking travel, get out, ride their bicycle across the Nullarbor, or do something fucking real weird. They go the other way, but out of the country, go and smoke dope. You smoke dope here. You not only go to jail, it's a fucking tough jail. You got to sit on your knees and stare at a wall all day. So, the flip side is it's pretty contained, and that's what I love about the West. Fucking anything goes, and I think the far right need to be in on the conversation at the moment. I don't think any of them are really proposing anything really radical. They're just basically saying, can we discuss this without being called racist? No one can really define what being racist is. It's like a fear that you think that your race is the only one, in particular whites. And you want to fucking kill everyone else. It's like, who fucking thinks like that? What a fucking boring planet it'd be. And, that's my fucking 2 cents of it today. We need freedom of speech, and we need to support comedians, artists, and social media. People expressing themselves, no matter whether you fucking you don't like their opinion or not. The old unsubscribe, man. Fucking whatever, man. Can you articulate an idea instead of going, I fucking disagree? How did the left, not everyone on the left, do this? The left has got to stand up for the right for freedom of speech, man. It's that far. It's gone into the far right, freedom of speech. That's fucking ridiculous. But I respect it, man. So freedom of speech, that's the cornerstone of humanity, really. It's the direction we've got to go, and it's been stopped now by what is this forces? That's the thing about what are these forces like controlling the West at the moment. There's definitely forces. You can see it because the media is not reflecting what the people are thinking. The majority of the people are thinking they're not. And then social media came up, and Trump wouldn't have got in without social media. And now they're censoring social media heavily. So what kind of fucking game are they playing? That's what we all want to know. Left, right, middle. Fucking who is doing this, and what is their fucking plan? And moving beyond that, how can we move to a decentralized authority in the world where, we're all going to be fucking mixed up, but a decentralized money source is the fucking crux of it, really. end the central banks, audit the Fed. Well, why the fuck do you cunts have, it's always, follow the money trail. They never go right back to the source where they're just pulling it out of thin air. So, yeah, freedom of speech, and fucking who the fuck are these central bankers fucking moving all these chess people around, all these chess pieces around in terms of populations and races and religions, getting us fighting between left, right, and male, female, and black, white, and fucking all this shit. What's your fucking game plan, man? That's what we all want to know. And if we censor each other, when collectively we're not going to work it out.